of your reactions all morning long, and Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion.
Snoop Loop.
Pass it, puff it, do whatever you got to do. Maybe it's not the same guy. His tweet says, the Three Stooges, Lori, Roseman, and Pederson, as the late great Stan Hochman would say, it's a disaster. Here's another one from Joe. He says, how we feel doesn't matter. Got to give him a chance.
True.
Come on, people.
Right.
I added that
Speak
part.
the truth.
All right, so that brings us to our big talk of the day. Joining us now, the one and only Tony Bruno.
All right, what's with the velvet, black blazer thing going on here?
Well, I had a process that started at 1 a.m. and I was trying to figure out, is the process over? And it is. So I saw Barrett at 6 o'clock when I woke up, and I said, I'm going to go with the black velvet today.
Oh, you're the Sixers? You have a process?
Yes, I have a process. I completed my interviews with my jackets, and I brought this one out.
That's excellent.
You completed your process.
I completed
You're
my process.
You're reportedly wearing that. We can't say it.
No, I can confirm. I can confirm I'm wearing black
Breaking
velvet.
news.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So let's talk about this, Tone. I mean, we can't say we're shocked that it come down to Doug Pederson, but the way it all sort of went down the last few days felt like a bit of a scramble.
I disagree with the whole, they could have kept interviewing people. Remember, even Dirk Cutter is done in Tampa, so the Eagles would have been the last coach. They had to leak this out for one reason, Barrett, and guys, is because they need to start putting together a coaching staff. The longer you wait, if you have a head start, which the Eagles had a head start, and now all of a sudden everybody else has a job, you've got to start finding assistant coaches. And that's why they can't announce it, because he's still coaching until the Chiefs lose. What happens if they go to the Super Bowl? You can't announce it till after in February. So they've got to start putting together a staff now and getting good coordinators in here and other coaches. That's why they had to leak this out, so they get anybody who's interested in working with Doug a chance to come in here and take the job.
But you still don't. I mean, you still don't have to. It still doesn't lessen the fact that there's Sean McDermott out there, there's Lovie Smith out there, quality guys. They still didn't get in the interview process. I really believe those guys bring a lot to the table, and to not even allow them to come in and speak their piece. I just think that's a loss of talent that they didn't.
Well, they talked to 6 guys, all offensive, and I know people are saying, why didn't you interview McDermott? McDermott wasn't even on the radar.
No, they apparently had no interest at all.
And here's the other thing, is that Lovie Smith just got fired. He's going to be a coordinator. He's not going to get a head coaching job, obviously, this year. Chip's got the job in San Francisco, which, by the way, didn't surprise me. I think Chip got the head start more than the Eagles did when they fired him, because that made the Niners start thinking about, hey, we got a guy out there. They talked to him early, and then they went back and grabbed him. To me, Pederson's name was the first one we heard, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't like he came out of nowhere. That leaked out that Doug Pederson was one of the candidates.
I think he was a safety net.
You think so?
I think he was. I mean, I think they were going to feel everybody else out, and they knew, hey, if we go back to him, we like him, but he's going to be there. He's not going to be grabbed up like McAdoo or Gase was very quickly by other teams.
Yes.
You know what he is, though? He's Andy Reid 2.0. Yeah. But now I have to learn how to Dougie again, just as I forgot how to Dougie.
You've been after
all this. Can you show us what you remember?
I don't remember. Something like it's about moving the arms out. It's a long, it's a process. It's a process.
A lot of processes with you.
Actually, someone sent us a tweet saying, Barry, you got to teach us how to Dougie.
If it means we can move on from the dab, I'm in.
It is. I mean, the Dougie's back, and just as it was going away, it's back.
Go. Do you think Pederson was their #1 the whole time? Like, because his name is one of the first that came out.
I think so. I think Jeffrey Lurie, and again, I don't believe that he's going to be a puppet. He's not going to be Jason Garrett, because Jeffrey Lurie is not, he's not Skeletor down there in Dallas. Jeffrey Lurie he hires people now. The other problem that fans are having, obviously, is that the Howie Roseman, Howie's now going to tell him what to do, and he's going to be calling down the plays from the suite or whatever. I don't think that's not going to happen. But is that going to happen, really?
No, that's not going to happen. But do you think they're going to bring in a GM now, or are they set right now as far as a front office?
I think they have to bring in a GM. I think they absolutely have to. And how about Chip Kelly going out to Tom Gamble land? Remember, Tom Gamble was unceremoniously bounced out of here. He's in San Francisco. Chip's in San Francisco.
Match made in heaven.
Well, that's an interesting situation on a number of fronts. One, does he keep Kaepernick? I know he automatically leaped because he's got the skill set of that zone read that he's going to keep him there, but the organization had really soured on him, and that front office is still intact, Tony. So I don't think it's 100% that Kaepernick stays there.
Well, they owe him $11.9 million on April 1st. So I was on a San Francisco station last night. They love it. They're excited in San Francisco. This is a sizzle hire.
Sure it is.
They had the York family. People are down on them out there. So they see this as a chance to salvage Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And who's the guy who's going to do it? The guy finally has a quarterback that he never had here to run his offense, and he's going to go out there and save Colin Kaepernick.
And speaking of, does Sam Bradford stay? Does he want to come back? I mean, this is a conversation we were having even last week. Is he going to want to come back? But now that we know who the head coach is expected to be, do you think he'll want to be here?
That may be part of this process again. Maybe to bring in Doug Pederson, who knows Pat Shurmur. There's the familiarity. Maybe Bradford now says, hey, I already know what Pat Shurmur does. It's not Chip Kelly's offense, but it's a quarterback who's coming in here. You know, it's the old Mike. It's like the whole Mike McCarthy kind of feel.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, Mike McCarthy, those football guys. You know, guys aren't going to make a lot of noise. He's going to be a dull guy. He's going to say shucks. You know what I mean? He's going to be one of those guys.
Gosh.
He's going to be a shucks gosh guy. You know what I mean? Instead of a let's go do smoothies and, you know, get the playlist going at camp.
I got to do a better job.
You know what, though? If it's Childress, if they decide to go that route, are the Eagles essentially saying, it's not the end of the world if we don't have Bradford back here? I mean, what is that statement if it's Childress as opposed to Shurmur?
You know, there's so many statements being made, but I like the haircut though on Brad Childress.
That is nice.
Good look on him.
Yes.
And then you got Jim Schwartz out there. There's names, so they got to start getting coordinators in here. And there's no doubt they're going to. I think the first order of business is getting a defensive coordinator.
All right, so I'm being told that we have a soundbite from Pederson.
Oh, we
that
do?
We want to take a listen to.
Oh, let's
Is
listen.
that right?
All right.
Gosh, it went great. Gosh, it went great. Gosh, it went great.
That's how Tony starts his podcast.
Breaking news here on Breakfast on Broad.
There's a lot of
You
gossip.
heard it here first.
Yes.
Is it gosh or shucks? I think he's going to upgrade to shucks from gosh.
Once you officially get the job, you go shucks. Now it's just gosh territory. No, but I mean, and the other thing is, and this is where I really think it's unfair. I don't care about this. People are holding against him in 1999 that he was, you know, the guy who was essentially the quarterback in waiting when Donovan was here. I mean, that's to me is ridiculous.
Of course not. I mean, and I saw Donovan McNabb tweeted out he welcomed Doug and his family to Philadelphia. So that actually will put more pressure on Doug Pederson.
That's not a good thing, actually.
Because of the way people feel about Donovan McNabb, who was a great quarterback here.
Wait. All right, McNabb agrees with this? Oh, it's got to be wrong.
Then maybe we might want to go the other way.
I'm curious about this. Are you of the mindset that it was a mistake to fire Chip Kelly, the coach?
I thought he would get another year, but obviously things went sour really, really quickly. And then there's the Howie Roseman factor, if you buy into that. I don't know. I mean, I knew Chip would get another job. A lot of people say he's not going to get another job, but the Niners, obviously they didn't want him down in Tennessee with his guy. But the Niners were on him very, very early, and they kept that quiet. And they interviewed 7 people. Yeah. They interviewed Gaze and all the other list of suspects, and Chip was their guy. The Super Bowl's out there in a couple of weeks. They got the sizzle guy, and they got the fan base motivated. You saw San Francisco. That stadium was empty all year, and those fans gave up in a hurry because of the Harbaugh situation. They got Jim Tomsula in, nice guy, but he didn't sell anything, and they have to sell tickets in that stadium.
How much? I know he's not going to have personnel, but control like he did here. But how much do you think he'll change his ways?
Yeah, Zebra doesn't lose his stripes.
From what led to him, you know, having a bad year.
I think he's been humble. I don't really know Chip that well, but I think what happened here is a humbling, and this is it. I don't think he gets another shot, so he's got to go in there and fix it. I know he's not going to trade away all the players and all the other jokes that are going on, but if he can get Kaepernick back to playing with confidence, I think then Chip Kelly will be a success. Well, imagine if he goes there and wins a Super Bowl. Remember, Kaepernick's how many years removed from a Super Bowl?
Not far.
But
if they win a Super Bowl out there, what happens, Jillian?
Then all of Philadelphia dies.
Wow.
No, but seriously.
All of us?
Good luck, everybody. Can some of us survive?
You can survive
There
if
will
you
be
want,
no survivors.
Okay.
Everyone's going to go to the highest bridge. That's what someone tweeted me last night. What's the highest bridge? I go, the wall with the hand-waving symbol. I'm like, bye.
Happy Friday.
No, but seriously, I mean, with everything that we heard about Chip Kelly, you know, this past season and his inability to have relationships with his players and the whole sleep monitors thing and the shakes and like everything that he put his players through, I mean, he was unable to treat these guys like men. Okay, he was used to having college athletes that were younger that he could, you know, boss around a little bit more, or they would do whatever he wanted to put it better.
You mean Harbaugh? Oh, no, you're talking about Chip.
Do you think he's really going to be able to, all of a sudden, be able to treat these guys like the grown men that they are?
I mean, he's not going to pull his pants down, you know, like Mike Singletary. Remember Mike Singletary when he got the Niner job a few years ago? Yeah. He was doing the whole pull his pants down. You know, I want you guys to be men.
Party, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, so no, guys use different ways to motivate players. Right. I think the fans, especially the offensive players, they got to be happy. Because no matter what you say about Chip Kelly, every guy who's played for him offensively always did better under Chip's system. Is he going to run the super fast offense? Is he going to try to do that and reinvent the game? No. But I think if you're an offensive player, you got to love what Chip Kelly does.
I believe that he can fix Colin Kaepernick. Yes, I do believe he can fix him. But can he be fixed? That's the problem. Can he be fixed? You have to have interpersonal skills. You have to understand these are grown men that have families at home. You can't treat them like they're kids, or you can't treat them like they're strangers inside of the locker room. When you pass by a man, you speak to a man. And there were times that he didn't do that, even with the front office people, whether they were $1 million guy, whether it was the guy changing the trash cans. Ultimately, you got to respect who's ever in that office. As a lot of the times, he did not respect people in that office. I don't believe he can change within 17, 18 days. That's just me.
You're maybe right, and I think the fact that he's been humble and he's not going to have Trent Baalke's going to be the guy. He's in charge. He's going to give Chip a little bit of say on, hey, do you want this guy or that guy? But I think Chip's experience as I got to make all the calls, I think he got humble, and I think he's going to learn from
Maybe
that.
he doesn't want all of that power again.
Well, that was one of the things Andy talked about when he left and went to Kansas City. Like, I just want to get back to coaching.
Yeah. We're not talking about the call. I'm not even talking about the calls. I'm not even talking about offense.
Just saying hello, simple things.
Interpersonal stuff. Yeah.
When you're walking down the hallway, say hello to me.
Yeah.
When you're around the guys, be one of the guys. And it does not matter what status you have on the table, what class or caste or whatever it is system goes on in that locker room, front office, wherever. You have to have interpersonal skills.
Totally agree.
He left that organization over there in a shambles. There were people that, hated him over there, and we're not just talking about players. We're talking about people that run the building.
But did they hate him when they went 10-6 and 10-6, or did they start hating him when he got power and then things started going downhill? Because when you win, that's the great deodorant, as we say, right? You start winning, and then you get Bill Belichick's got one of the worst personalities. You know what's amazing? Bill Belichick loves him some Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
So Bill Belichick, who is a guy who's absolutely the worst with the media, his body language, all that other stuff, and Chip Kelly is respected by Bill Belichick. Maybe it's not just about interpersonal. I'm not saying you treat people like garbage, but I think if you win, people overlook some of that stuff.
He talks to him, though. He does talk to his player. And you talk to past players. You don't hear about the same instance with guys that leave the Patriot organization.
Well, you're right, but let's look at it from this standpoint. And you're still going to be digging out of Chip's wake here because he gutted a lot of really good players on this team. And, the roster right now, while they have a couple players,
2 years,
set you back big time. And I don't really, quite frankly, whatever happens in San Francisco, whatever, you're looking at what happens here and what's happening here and what Doug Pederson's got to deal with. And maybe not even a quarterback, an offensive line at the most important spot where you're aging. Your receivers can't get open, and when they do get open, they drop
the balls.
Your inside linebackers underachieve big time. Your secondary could lose 2 of its starting pieces. There's a lot of question marks right now with this.
And Childress is what? What is his title? A spread offense?
Whatever that is.
Well, you have receivers that don't work well in the spread, and you have also line can't block.
Do a lot of analysis.
It's the spread game analyst / special projects coach.
Well, he's got a special project what he has right now.
That's the best title in sports.
Special project.
That's good. I like that, Ty. Can you get that on a business card?
Yeah, right? We're gonna need
2. All right, so let's get it back to our question of the day. We get everybody's reaction to this, presented by Dunkin' Donuts this morning. We're asking, what do you think will happen first? Doug Pederson or Chip Kelly wins the Super Bowl, and why?
From Allen, I think it's more along the lines of who gets fired first.
Jeez.
Wow. From Lawrence on Facebook.
No relation, by the way.
Have to say it will be Kelly. Chip doesn't have to overcome all the damage he did to the Eagles roster
Damage he
in
did.
his year as GM. Wow. And from Steven, everyone was so excited about Chip and his personality. How did they fare? Maybe an even keel guy is the right choice.
Yeah, you know how it is. We go crazy if it's not blaring lights like Chip was. If it's Andy Reid, the reaction was the same. It was like,
I want the runway
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not the right choice.
You got that at home, all right?
We got. I know.
Yeah, you're taking care of it.
I'm talking about the runway models for us coaches. We had the runway model with Chip, and I want another.
Maybe we need to stay off the catwalk.
Stay off the catwalk
right now.
Well, remember Jeffrey Lurie called Chip a bold move. Now he went to a cold move because it's all about chill, not Netflix and chill, coaching and chill, the Eagles and chill.
But he said, man, he came in, he said all the right things, I want to come in, I just want to coach, I'm not worried about contracts, I'm not worried about bringing players in. You put the players in front of me and I'll coach them. And then what happened?
Yeah, well, we're right here. That's what happened. We're talking about a new head coach again.
But then we're also talking about Chip going in and making an instant impact and that team being good. No, when he got to this Eagles organization, when they went 10-6, it's only because he had good players here. There are no good players in the 49 organization. They have a good defense. They have one of the best linebacker cores in the league.
Yeah, but they lack some talent.
they are.
Well, that's why it's all
yeah,
about
but guess
Kaepernick.
what? Even if they have the best defense, their defense is still probably going to get tired if Chip plans on running a similar offense
Absolutely.
out there. So.
He does have a good offensive line, though, but everything else is
better
very
execute.
blah.
Yeah, but they've got the salvage. They got the guy that you could salvage, a guy who isn't that far. He had 3 surgeries now. Remember Kaepernick. So mentally, and you don't lose your talent. That's the thing about the Kaepernick sit. That's why it's intriguing.
It's all upstairs
to watch that, because at least they have a guy, and they have Gabbert, who wasn't that bad either, who can move around as well. You know, Blaine Gabbert is not just the statue just standing back there. They haven't asked him to run.
Carlos Hyde running the ball.
Yeah, so Chip's got actually 2 quarterbacks who can move around, which he didn't have here other than Michael Vick when he first came in.
Exactly. Tony, thanks, man.
All right,
Good to
guys.
see you.
Great seeing you as always.
It's 7:21. Still ahead, we get some inside information on Doug Pederson with one of the top sports anchors in Kansas City.
And you'll